This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today, the 25th Annual Disability Awareness Awards, presented Wednesday, October 9th at the Resource Center's administrative offices just outside Celeron. A dozen awards will be presented over the next half hour as we encapsulate this event for radio. The MC was Steve Watterson. You'll recognize his voice, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. He joins me frequently here on Share the Vision. But the first award was presented by Paul Chisana, Executive Director of the Resource Center.
And so just to get us into the mood of awards and recognitions, I would like at this point to also recognize a special individual that typically would have been recognized as part of our membership annual meeting when we have established a new award that we refer to as the Excellence in Governance Award. And that's an award that goes to people that not only volunteer, but they make a commitment to be part of running organizations as complex and as demanding as the Resource Center. So at this point, I would like to give a special recognition to an individual that in governance has gone through all different offices that are there to go through on a board, from being a board member, secretary, treasurer, vice president, and president. And even when he has rotated out to the board of directors of the Resource Center, he has agreed to serve on the board of the TRC Foundation. So please, if Dr. Harry Glatz would like to please come forward.
He warned me about this, and being shy, I didn't know what to say. Luckily, there was a napkin on the table with a few words on it, and it's something that I came across just recently. You know, it's wonderful to have your name engraved in stone or in plastic. It's wonderful. But the important thing is that we weave our lives into the lives of others. And to me, the goal of the Resource Center is to weave our lives into those special people that we serve. And thank you so much for this award. Geez, now I recognize it.
Special recognition for Dr. Harry Glatz at this year's Disability Awareness Awards. Now on with the rest of the show and Steve Watterson.
Our first award tonight is the Bruce Walford Community Service Award. This award goes to a person who's committed to the community, is selfless, and has the initiative and the integrity to forge ahead and make things happen with an enthusiasm and exuberance that inspire others. This award is named in honor of the late Bruce Walford, who was the manager of the Resource Center's Dunkirk Work Center. The recipient of this year's Wally Award is being honored for his efforts on behalf of Laurel Run, a fundraising event we hold each July.
Just let me inject here, the award is going to Brian Samuelson.
To say that he's committed to Laurel Run would be an understatement. He served on the planning committee for several years. He raises money, solicits pledges, sells newspapers, and persuades businesses to donate items to our auction. His enthusiasm for Laurel Run is infectious and no doubt plays a role in his ability to get individuals and businesses to donate money and items to support the event. This year, he donated to Laurel Run 2 wooden flower boxes that he assembled and painted himself. And whereas many of us are glad to take a few months off before starting to plan the next Laurel Run, our award recipient is eager to get started on making the 2014 Laurel Run bigger and better than ever. The guy is unstoppable. More importantly, as much as he gives to Laurel Run, he says the real satisfaction is the enjoyment the event gives to him. Since he's being recognized for his efforts on behalf of Laurel Run, and since the award's namesake, Bruce Walford, was an integral part of Laurel Run, I'd like the event's co-founders, Elaine and Wayne Hotelling, to come forward to help present the award and to say a few words if you'd like.
Any of you who knew Bruce Walford realize what enthusiasm is and what uniqueness is. And this is what Brian has brought in maintaining what Laurel Run is all about since Bruce's passing. So it's our privilege and our honor tonight to have Brian come forward, if you would please, and receive his award.
If anyone has an idea how we can do this, please come and see me. Is there any way we could take some of Brian's enthusiasm, bottle it up, and sell it? We would have no trouble from there on out.
Good evening. Like Steve said, I have made a lot of money for the walk-up-on, and I'm on the border of it. Side of it and that. So I really put my efforts into the program. This year I raised $1,000 for the walk-up-on. And thank you.
Brian Samuelson, the winner of this year's Wally Walford Award in the Disability Awareness Awards at the Resource Center.
Our second award of the night is the Allied Industries Customer of the Year. This award reflects a community business partner that provides work to Allied Industries, which is the employment and manufacturing arm of the Resource Center. Through Allied Industries, individuals with disabilities are offered employment, training, and professional skill development opportunities. This year's Customer of the Year is Worley Industries, a family-owned and operated manufacturer from Warren, Pennsylvania. They've been in business more than 60 years, and they design and make products for the food and beverage industry. The Resource Center and Worley have enjoyed a partnership that goes back many years. The most recent collaboration began late last year with a project that involves a number of assembly and shrink wrapping jobs. On any given day, there are at least 3 people working in the shrink wrapping area, and there could be upwards of 125 people performing light assembly work, such as putting on caps, counting and bagging straws, and packing mugs in boxes and adding stickers. There were some growing pains as workers learned to use the shrink wrapping equipment, but Worley officials worked with Allied to help get us over the rough spots. Here to say a few words about Worley is Steve Hauk, production manager for TRC's Jamestown Work Center.
Thank you, Steve. As he mentioned, last fall we kind of started a new working relationship with Worley. Previous to last fall, we had been doing some light assembly work, but we got into the shrink wrapping business at their request, and they provided us with the equipment as well. So we were able to get into it really with minimal cost involved. They worked with us, we got through the rough spots, and they really committed themselves to helping us be successful in the hard work of our consumers. They worked with us, and everything is going very well right now. We know that they're committed to working with individuals with disabilities, and so we appreciate that very much, and we hope to continue that relationship for quite some time to come.
The next voice you hear, speaking on behalf of Worley Industries, production manager there, Sean Abbott.
I had a list of stuff to say, and Steve, everybody's already said everything I planned to talk about. But I just would like to thank Allied. We've partnered with them. As Steve said, we started last fall, and we provided the equipment. This is what we look forward to being a win-win situation. We expect to have many more years, and we have a lot of high hopes for Allied, and we really appreciate this award. So on behalf of Worley, the owners, Bob Skolsky, Hal Conroe, and Lincoln President, thank you.
Congratulations again. Our next award is for community support. This award goes to an individual, a service group, or business that provides unique opportunities and experiences for individuals with disabilities. The business honored this evening was nominated because the owners are personable, understanding, and supportive of people with disabilities. Operators of a clothing store, they are very patient when fitting a person with disabilities for a new outfit or altering someone's clothes. They take time to get to know everyone's name, and they are willing to keep the store open late in order to accommodate people with disabilities. The recipients of the Community Support Award have been supportive of individuals with disabilities for many years. They're celebrating 60 years in business. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate this year's recipients of the Community Support Award, Cliff and Ann Powers of Landers Men Clothing Store here in Jamestown.
This is really a great honor for us. We've been associated with the Resource Center. We had a foster daughter from the GA home that went to Allied and worked. Our daughter Marcy worked at the Resource Center. Over the years, we've made so many friends, and the clients and the residents that come in and the Allied industry people come in and buy their clothes, and they're so proud that they work for this organization. The staff, the support staff that comes in, they treat the residents and the clients like their own family. They give them choices. They let them pick out the stuff they want. And it's a pleasure to work with somebody that's excited about buying clothes. The community wouldn't be the same without the Resource Center, and we're glad that we can help in our small way. And thank you for the award.
I just have one question. I don't know how the Resource Center hires all these nice people they do. You know, we have never run into one that was bad yet. And even the clients, when they come into that, never run into one that's given us that hard of a time. It's been a pleasure. It's a real pleasure. And we thank you.
Thank you.
Want to get pictures taken?
I think so.
Cliff and Ann Powers from Landers Menswear.
Our next award is the Health Provider of the Year. It's given annually to an entity or professional that enhances the lives of persons with disabilities by providing quality health services. The 2013 Health Provider of the Year is a gastroenterologist who shows a tremendous amount of compassion for every individual from the Resource Center who he follows and serves. During appointments, he speaks directly to the patient, no matter what the patient's level of cognitive functioning. He works late hours to ensure that any information needed to be completed is done in a timely manner in order to best address the sometimes complex medical issues experienced by people with severe disabilities. Our Health Provider of the Year was nominated by Sherry Oles, a registered nurse at the Resource Center. Sherry says that in her 12 years of working here at TRC and communicating with physicians all over Chautauqua and Erie counties, she has never had a physician show such concern, care, and compassion to individuals with disabilities. She cited one example in which our Health Provider of the Year's persistence and attention resulted in the quick detection of a cancerous mass in an individual's colon, ensuring that the patient received the treatment he needed. The other thing that struck me about this nomination is that more than 40 people signed it. That's quite an indication of how well our health provider is thought of by staff at the Resource Center. He's not here to be with us tonight, but the 2013 Health Provider of the Year award goes to Dr. James Campion. And we will make sure he gets his award. Award number 5 goes to the Employer of the Year. This category is reserved for a business that makes an important contribution to improving the availability, accessibility, and quality of integrated, competitive, or supportive employment. This year's award recipient is a die casting company that has been in business locally since 2006. In April, the company hired an individual through the Resource Center's Supported Employment Program. And at first, the company didn't want to bring in a TRC job coach to work with the new employee because company officials wanted the individual to blend in with the rest of the work crew and not be singled out as having a disability. Without benefit of a job coach, the worker wasn't able to retain his job responsibilities. So after a meeting with a TRC representative, the company agreed to have an on-site job coach support the worker. He has now been there 6 months, and everyone is happy with his job performance. In fact, he regularly outperforms some of his coworkers. Here to accept the award is plant manager Ron Saxton. Please congratulate the 2013 Employer of the Year, Premier Tool and Die Cast of Lakewood.
Hello. I'm from a local company up here in Lakewood. It was previously another company. It was taken over in 2006. We did, up until a few years ago, work with a resource center on Jones and Gifford. That project went away, and over the last 6 to 8 months, we've decided to take a new venture, which was to bring on Bruce. And he's been an excellent employee, no problems, great. And hopefully in the future here, we can do some more with some of the more people in the resource center and bring them on as full-time employees. Thank you.
Next up is our Advocate of the Year. Someone who takes extraordinary measures in the area of supporting the rights of individuals with disabilities to achieve independence and integration into the community, or someone who's made great personal accomplishments in the area of self-advocacy. Tonight's recipient is always willing to share his stories with people. For several years, he's worked to help educate people by providing orientation training to new employees at Aspire of Western New York. He's also worked with area school districts and presented his experience to the younger generation. He really enjoys working with children and volunteers at a local daycare center. He's always dreamt of establishing a self-advocacy group, and this year he turned that dream into reality. He not only supports people with disabilities, but he helps them learn to speak up for themselves. This self-advocacy group is named DREAMS, which stands for Determination, Recreation, Education, Advocacy, More, Support. The group meets the third Wednesday of each month in northern Chautauqua County, if any of you know someone who may be interested in going. Please welcome our Advocate of the Year, Josh Pietro.
My advocacy group is more for people with disabilities, but it's also for people that have worked with, have in their families, or have gone to school with people with disabilities. Basically, it's for anyone that wants to just meet people with disabilities or learn what we've gone through. Thank you.
Our next award is the Edwin Roth Mental Health Award. It's named after the late Ed Roth for his dedication to supporting people living with mental health challenges. The award is given each year to a client, advocate, agency, professional, or community member that has contributed toward efforts to improve the lives of individuals challenged by behavioral issues and or substance abuse. This year's recipient is being recognized for his commitment to a diverse population that many times falls through the cracks of the system. He has the ability to engage and interact with individuals that others may shy away from. He's unbiased and dedicated to everyone he works with. He's enthusiastic in becoming connected to the community and has developed many strong partnerships that have given him the opportunity to better the lives of others. He's involved in many new initiatives that are designed to help people meet their outcomes, and he is committed to the Resource Center's mission. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's recipient of the Edwin Roth Mental Health Award is Mr. Thaddeus Lund.
Boy, what a welcome. Thank you. I just wanted to say a few words. Somebody mentioned it earlier, teamwork. And that is what the Resource Center is built on. And that is what everybody here, I see many people I interact with on a daily basis. But yeah, just a tremendous teamwork, great leadership, and I'd finally like to thank my mom and dad for raising me and instilling the qualities that I have that bring me to this job. Thank you.
Okay, our next award is the Elmer Mensch Volunteer of the Year Award. It recognizes a volunteer as someone who donates time, talents, and or expertise toward improving the quality of life of individuals with disabilities in the community. This award is named for the late Elmer Mensch, who was a longtime volunteer and board member here at the Resource Center. This year's award recipient regularly volunteers for a number of events that are put on annually by the Resource Center in Filling the Gap. These events include Street Jam, Laurel Run, Step Up for Autism, and the Toys for Tots Charity Ball. Not only does she give of her time, but she has set a positive example for her daughters who volunteer as well. This year at Street Jam, our Volunteer of the Year and her daughters worked their scheduled volunteer shift in the registration area from 6:30 to noon. And then when someone couldn't show up to work the children's slam dunk contest, she and her daughters spent all afternoon handling that responsibility, never seeming to mind the sunburns they all got. The following weekend, she went above and beyond the call of duty by driving to Silver Creek with young grandson in tow to stand in a cool drizzle to help promote the Laurel Run at a children's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Volunteer of the Year for 2013, Michelle Wood.
Well, so much for being behind the scenes. I guess that kind of blew this right out of the water. But I do just want to take a minute to say receiving an award for something that gives back so much really just seems just beyond exceptional, because I get so much from every event. And if you've ever attended an event, you know that each event has a special moment. And whether it's the Laurel's Lap or a welcome speech from an individual who kind of spearheaded Step Up for Autism, whatever that event is, you walk away inspired. And so that's all the thanks and reward I ever needed for what I did, but this is just really the icing on the cake. So thank you.
Awesome, Michelle, thanks. It's now time to present the Personal Success Award, which is given to a person challenged with a disability who has met his or her goals of personal achievement within the last year in the areas of community integration and or employment. This year's recipient of the Personal Success Award has demonstrated that he can set and pursue goals. After his children were removed from his home, he buckled down and committed himself to doing whatever was required in order to bring his family back together. He faced extraordinary challenges that were magnified because of mental health barriers and financial constraints, yet he managed to regain custody of his children by fulfilling all requirements, as well as obtaining and maintaining employment and finding suitable housing for his family. He is now a valued assembler at the Resource Center's Jamestown Work Center, and he is truly an inspiration to those around him. The recipient of this year's Personal Success Award is Christopher Cobrady.
I want to thank everybody that helped me along the way, from that big old smile back there and Lisa, and the awesome smile from Molly, for giving me the opportunity to have to believe in myself, even when there's times when I didn't really do very well at it. But they didn't let me give up. Especially working next to my buddy there, Charlie. You know, he heard it all, and believe me, a lot. And Mr. Bender for giving me the opportunity to work, and just want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Great job, Chris. Congratulations. Our next award is for outstanding achievement, and it's given to a person challenged by a disability who's made significant progress in achieving his or her personal skills. This year's award recipient has achieved a lot in the last 2 years. A few years back, she was faced with the decision to move back home to Buffalo with her family or find an apartment of her own. She wasn't sure she could do it, but with help and encouragement from a host of others, she moved into her own apartment in Jamestown. She does have assistants to help with laundry and shopping. She also began Jamestown Community College this fall with the intent of securing an early childhood education degree. She really had to go through a lot to get the technology she would need to be successful. The lesson here is that no matter who tells you that you can't do something, it can happen if you believe in yourself and shoot for the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, our Outstanding Achievement Award for 2013 goes to Courtney Spencer.
Speaking here on behalf of the award winner, Sherry Eckles.
Well, I met Courtney like 3 years ago. And when I met her, she was living with a roommate who she loved. And probably a year into the time that I knew her, she found out that she was going to have to move out. And she was faced with the decision of move home with her family or figure out a way to live on her own. And she really didn't think she could do it. She's not really good about change. She absolutely hates that I'm up here talking about her. She was mad I nominated her. She doesn't like to be in the spotlight, but she has really made some amazing changes in the last couple years. She's made it out on her own. She's got the supports that she needs to be independent. She's gone back to JCC and has gotten midterm grades today that were A's and B's in all of her classes going full time. So she so is capable of doing such amazing things. And remember her name, because you are going to hear from her again, because she's going to do some great things in her future. And we all believe in her, maybe even a little bit more than she does. So congratulations, Courtney.
Thanks, Sherry. That was easy, wasn't it? Our next award is our NYSED Award, and it's presented in recognition of exceptional job performance and personal success by people with disabilities employed on NYSED contracts. NYSED stands for New York State Industries for the Disabled. This awards program is named in honor of the late William B. Joslin, who championed employment of people with disabilities as being key to individual achievement. Here to explain a bit about NYSED and this year's award recipient is Mike Volk, the Resource Center's Director of Rehabilitation and Employment Services. Mike.
Thank you, Steve. It's quite an honor to introduce the 2013 NYSED Joslin Award winner, Keith Gowan. Keith is a good example of someone who took advantage of the variety of services that the Resource Center's employment programs offer to make himself more marketable. In 1999, he was hired to work on government contracts and received support through the Rehab Services Department to increase his employment skills. Keith is very shy and quiet. In 2007, Keith began working for Environmental Services on a part-time basis, cleaning in the evening. Keith was not familiar with commercial cleaning, only having been exposed to regular house cleaning. Now, when I read this, I thought, please don't talk to my wife because I don't want to have to do regular house cleaning. But Keith was a fast learner and adapted to everything he learned on the job. He advanced to working on a mobile cleaning crew. He proved himself a valuable member of that crew and always helped complete other people's work assignments when his was completed. Keith's skills continued to improve along with his confidence and maturity. He took great pride in improving his appearance and became an integral part of the crew. Keith was promoted to working on the I-86 rest area. This rest area is responsible for cleaning 365 days in the year, 16 hours a day starting at 6 a.m. So attendance is really critical. Besides the normal janitorial services that Keith has provided indoors, he often volunteers to snow blow, shovel snow, and keep the walkways free from ice and snow. Keith also volunteers regularly for overtime. There have been numerous compliments from patrons of the site about Keith's wealth of information from the local area. So help me congratulate Keith Gowan.
I don't really like talking in front of groups of people, but I think it's awesome we can do something like this, and thank you.
In addition to the award that Keith got, NYSED also gave him a certificate and a check for $500. So, and NYSED also helped support this event with a financial contribution. So they are okay in our book. We have one more award to give out, and the person who's receiving it isn't here, but it's a great story anyway. This is a special award that we created in order to recognize a member of the media who took it upon himself to shine the spotlight on a disturbing incident in Dunkirk in which a man with behavioral challenges was being bullied.
The award winner is Channel 4 reporter Lou Raguse. The story he did was about Mikey Gonzalez riding his bike. As a result of that story, 2 19-year-olds were convicted of bullying, and each received 3 years probation and 120 hours community service.
When told he'd be receiving this first ever Community Action Award, Lou was very honored, and he really wanted to be here in person, but he had a prior commitment out of town, and he wasn't able to break it. So we're going to make some arrangements to present him with this award, and we hope that Mr. Gonzalez and his family will be able to be there as well. But even though he's not here, please give a round of applause to Lou Raguse.
Today on Share the Vision, coverage of the 25th Annual Disability Awareness Awards at the Resource Center's administrative offices on Dunham Avenue outside Celeron on Wednesday, October 9th. Thank you for sharing the vision today.